episode of Coffee and Careers with me, Gail Angus, Careers Manager for the Adam Smith Business School. I'm joined again by my colleague David, the other Careers Manager for the Business School, and in today's session we're going to be talking about the role of luck in career planning. So David, when you joined me back in episode 1, we spoke about the DOTS model of career planning, which is a very structured approach to career planning. So it goes through a kind of 4-step process to actually thinking about how you can actually plan your career going forward. However, when you ask a lot of people, how did you get into that job? Quite often people say, I was lucky. It just happened. I fell into it, or I met someone at this random event and then, it just happened for me. I was lucky. Luck kind of plays a big part. However, there is a theory for that. So there's a theory that we're going to talk about today called planned happenstance. Now, planned happenstance is a theory by Mitchell, Levin and Crumboltz, which they tried to look at why do so many people actually say that they're lucky in career? Is there actually something to that? So what's your thoughts on happenstance, David?
I think it's a really interesting theory and a really useful thing for people to consider, because as you said, like the DOTS model we spoke about before is more about that you can plan and you can systematically start with, what am I good at, what's out there, make the right decision, you move into the right job. But actually, as you say, in reality, there is an element of chance events that happen, especially in the labour market that we have, and the future of work is very, very rapidly changing. This is a really good model for people to consider that, you can't entirely plan what's going to happen. That, you have to have the right mindset, an open mind to look for opportunities and make the most of them. And this model has a nice 4-step process as well that explains that quite neatly, I think, Gail.
Yeah, exactly. So the key thing when we're looking at this theory is that it is called planned happenstance. And that's not just saying, don't think about your career, luck will come in and everything will be okay. For some of you, it might do, and that's absolutely fantastic. But when these guys actually looked at this theory, they said that there was actually a few key things that people had in common when they did tend to be lucky. And that was people who took advantage of curiosity, persistence, flexibility, and optimism. So it is more about kind of your mindset. So let's look at kind of 4 kind of key steps that students can take if they want to think about how they can increase their luck and how they can use the kind of planned happenstance approach. So the first step, David, is about kind of clarifying ideas. So that's got some similarities, I think, with DOTS.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is where you can start with yourself, think through, what are my strengths, what are my skills, and what am I motivated by? So starting with yourself and knowing what you're interested in is always the best place to start any sort of career model. And this one keeps that in mind. You're not going to just randomly find what's out there. You probably have an idea of yourself and your strengths and what motivates you. Doesn't have to be too specific, but it's to start with, what am I good at, generally speaking, what interests me.
And that's starting with that curiosity, David. It's just starting to think through, what might I be interested, what actually might be out there for me as well. Once you've kind of started to clarify your ideas, the next thing is to think about actually removing the blocks. And this is very much a mindset thing. So this is very much going from wondering how can I, rather than I can't because. So this is looking at, you're being a positive mindset person. So getting into things and actually taking opportunities and thinking, how can I do that, rather than kind of talking about the barriers that exist all the time. Yeah,
so it's kind of drawing on that kind of positive psychology thinking that, you have to have the right frame of mind and know that when you see an opportunity, you're open to it.
So you've clarified your ideas, you've removed the blocks. Next, it's about expecting the unexpected. And this is about being prepared for chance opportunities and actually taking those chance opportunities as well. So that's unexpected phone calls, that's chance encounters, impromptu conversations. Now, the University of Glasgow is a fantastic place for this because there's so many opportunities to actually get involved in events where you can perhaps meet people out with your current network as well. The Career Service itself, David, has a whole host of events that we host with employers and alumni. But around campus, there's lots of things going on that students can get involved in to actually kind of broaden their networks and actually kind of maybe come across some of these chance encounters.
Yeah, so the message here really is one about just get involved and take advantage of these opportunities that are around there. You might not know what you're going to find from there, but why not go along to these events? And even looking at resources is a good opportunity. So the network, external sources like LinkedIn looking at graduates, that's where you see an unexpected opportunity. We think, oh, that's an interesting job title. I wonder how that person from our degree program ended up there. It's having an open mind and finding the opportunities and taking them.
Yep, and that kind of leads really nicely onto the final step, which is actually about taking action. So you may be at one of these networking events where you may see somebody on the network, the University of Glasgow's alumni networking tool, and it's about actually kind of following up on that. So if you meet someone at a networking event, send them an email afterwards and thank them for their time, and actually follow up and keep that relationship open. Connect with them on LinkedIn.
Yep.
Actually take action. Don't just think, oh, that was a nice event, that was a good opportunity, they were perhaps a great person. Actually take that action, and it might actually create some luck that you never know where it actually might lead you to.
Yeah, being proactive really is a key thing, and that is about once you've removed those barriers and blocks, and positive thinking, not telling yourself, I don't think I could do that. Imagine that you can do it. Find the opportunity, that you see somebody that interests you, take action, be proactive. Yep.
So if you actually want to see planned Happenstance in action, I would recommend tuning into the Soundtracks podcast from the University of Glasgow, which is our alumni podcast. There is an episode in particular which sticks in my mind last semester with a business school graduate called Cian, and Cian's a serial entrepreneur who talks a lot about how someone that he met while he was a student studying abroad actually came back into his life at a later date because he took opportunities to actually reach out and contact them as well, which is a perfect actual example of using that luck and actually kind of connecting it to make opportunities for yourself. So tune in there to actually see how that planned happenstance can actually work in action. Those 4 key stages again are clarifying ideas, removing the blocks, expecting the unexpected, and taking action. Yep. So thanks for joining me again today, David. And tune in again next week for another episode of Coffee and Careers, where I'll be joined again by my colleague Anne, and we'll be talking about how you can actually use your interests in your career. So thanks for tuning in today, and if you haven't already done so, like the video, comment below and subscribe.